An hour? What am I supposed to do with the mad scientist for an hour?
You know, tamper in God's domain.
And foremost, before we go any further, shout out and speedy recovery to our good buddy Epic, okay, who broke his arm earlier this week.
Let me guess, snowmobiling.
No, he was actually at work. He fell in between two
Pallets or something?
something along those, and he had to use his arm to land, and he broke it. It is now in a sling. He has had successful surgery, and I believe the recovery time is about 8 to 12 weeks from what I remember him telling me. So, big, speedy recovery to our good buddy Epic. Hopefully he joins us sometime today.
Well, he ain't no athlete, is he? 8 to 6 weeks.
He doesn't have the makings of a varsity athlete. Yeah, there you go. I mean, but honestly, man.
Oh, is he getting workman's comp for that?
You know, I didn't really ask him all that because I was more just like, hey, are you all right, dude? You know, kind of thing. And I was at work when I was talking to him, so it was like, you know, very brief interactions.
No gaming for him.
I know that. Well, he hasn't really played much in a while, so I don't think that'll bother him too much.
You know why? Because he's grown up.
Yeah, he also has a child. Okay.
Yeah, he's grown up.
All right, we're grown up.
He has responsibilities and priorities.
I have responsibilities, priorities.
Definitely not priorities.
I got a couple priorities. It depends on what you want to really say that they are. But no. But, I mean, if you think about it, man, I think any of us could really, you know, unfortunately break a limb if we land in the wrong position or just how
yeah. I mean,
and all that good stuff. So speedy recovery to him. And shout out to our good friend and follower, DA, for having us over for the little bonfire last week. That was real fun.
Yeah, she already thanked us for coming over.
Yeah, no.
But you don't read comments, so.
I understand that, but she can get a verbal, like, thank you from us. Okay.
She did get it.
Did she?
Yes, we said it last week.
Did we?
Oh no, we said congratulations on the two graduations,
okay.
and then she was like, "Thank you guys for helping celebrate or whatever."
Yeah, no, okay. So, but still, regardless, my clothes smelled like smoke pit for like 2 days. Or obviously,
it should have been as soon as you washed them.
Yes. Well, the thing is
I didn't wash my shirt right away because I had my national sweatshirt. I didn't wash that right away. I wanted to see if I could air out and the. I don't know. I think it's just this hat was smelling like smoke too. But yeah.
Well, it was mostly,
and I'm always the one there, fucking right there.
You know, poking the fire, trying to get the wood in there, get that thing going.
It's so fucking amazing how many. It's like they always say that even men, but mostly men, say that they can do one of two things. Like they would have no problem landing a plane. I talked about this before. Landing a plane and driving. Oh, no. Well, there's three things. These motherfuckers think they can land a plane with no training.
Okay.
Which is pretty fucking hard. That's the hardest thing to do in flying.
I would think so, yes. You would have to calculate wind speed, trajectory.
And then fucking, what was the other one? Oh, driving and fighting.
Yeah, I do remember this kind of how we talked on this.
Every fucking guy thinks they can drive the best. And they can fucking fight. 98% of motherfuckers can't fight, like, out of the population.
Well, that's like those middle-aged guys that post things on social media that say, I'm deadly when I'm alone. Or, you know, they just say, and they post, like, a picture of, like, a wolf or some shit like that. Oh, you know, there's, like, weird-ass
bullshit. Which has been disproven in recent years about, like, because everybody's like, oh, I'm an alpha male. I'm just, you're a beta. And all. It's not fucking true. Like the whole pack takes care of each other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I was like, yeah, stuff like that is gay to me. Like, well, not gay.
Oh, there's a lone wolf. No, he probably just got separated.
Throw me to the wolves and I'll come back to leader. You know, I hate shit like that. I don't know.
He probably just got separated from the pack, which is possible, and he's still able to survive. That doesn't make him fucking an alpha male because he walks in. Actually, I would venture to say the one that walks in the front is the most in danger. Just like the point man in military. If you're like, hey, you're running point, that's the last thing I want to hear my fucking CO fucking.
Do you turn around and say, hey guys, you know,
like, oh, hey Smith, you're running point. Fuck.
Start punching.
I'm the first one that's gonna take a bullet or a fucking mine or some shit. Well,
no, but
what up, Londa?
Getting the fire started is always fun, man. No, in terms of the smoke smell, I mostly was referring to my jackets because they like I woke up the next day and I was like, oh my god, these smell like a complete bonfire.
Well, that's what it was.
It was, and it was cool. And again, thanks for having us. But then we wake up the next day to celebrate our buddy Sean's birthday. Happy birthday, buddy! And then we decide for some reason, some way, somehow, to go golfing at noon.
No, that wasn't that was his decision.
That's fine.
Or I think it came from, I don't know. It wasn't we. Trust me, because when I was told about it, I was like, what made you choose that? But whatever.
Anyway, so we decided
We didn't go golfing, first of all.
Well, I was gonna get to we were going to
Went
the
to
local,
a driving range.
Driving range, yes. Okay, like it's still golfing.
There's a huge. No, it's not. It's not.
If I understand what you're saying. I do, but in a sense, I still feel like I'm golfing to a degree. All right.
Yeah, to a person who can't even hit the ball. Of course, you think you're golfing. You're not. You're fucking practicing golf.
Speaking of can't hitting the ball, Jared, I think it's very important all of you know that in probably 8 months or whenever it is, you will see me on the green at the PGA because my swing,
oh my God,
my golf stroke is absolutely incredible. It is some of the best swinging of a club you've ever seen. And when I say that, I mean that in the worst possible way because it's not as easy as it looks.
You sound like you're president right now.
I am the president.
I've got the best golf swing, the best in the world. Nobody does it better than me. And in 8 months, you'll see.
Yeah, on the green. The big green.
The biggest green there ever was.
Greener than greenest. But anyway, no. So I, for the first time, now I've played putt-putt, obviously a good handful of times in my life. I can comprehend that. But trying to drive a golf ball is something different. One, because I don't know really the difference between any of the putters or the irons or the woods or the clubs.
Oh, okay. That was it. You named every type of club.
Yeah.
When you just said club.
So Jared and our friends were kind enough to kind of guide me verbally and somewhat show me demonstrative-wise, with their own swings on how it should be done. So
yeah, I wasn't going to get behind you and help you.
No, I wasn't expecting you to do that. If any of you did do that, we would have gone right over that railing,
and
second floor.
And I wasn't doing that with nobody else, even if they weren't a male, because I don't want there to be any misconceptions.
Oh, yeah, dude. Somebody will take it and they turn their head 1 second. Oh,
yeah.
I seen it. And they'll run and they'll take a whole mile with it. But I was successfully able to hit a good couple balls decently.
Damn, you're fucking screaming.
Sorry. A good couple balls decently. And then there were a couple times where I missed completely. And then there were a couple times where I just completely dug the club into the ground. But I will say the few times that I did really get the good swing in, it did go relatively far. And thanks for some of the pointers.
Yeah, you didn't listen to the pointers. You still were doing the same thing.
I think I got to do it alone. I think that's what it is. Like, when I do something new, I like to fuck with it by myself for a while because I'm very, self-conscious with those things.
Golf is a different kind of beast. You kind of have to have somebody, all right. Because it took me so long to get my swing to where it is because I didn't have any guidance.
Yeah.
And I still could use guidance for a professional at this point, but yeah, the path to getting better in golf is having somebody show you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong.
Because I will say that it's it is fun. I see why people do like it. It is pretty cool. Driving a golf ball. I've personally never gone golfing. Golfing where you're out on the 18 holes of green and things of that nature. But granted how bad my swing is currently, I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. I feel like I should get my swing a little better before
just don't go to a busy course. you can still play. If you go to a busy course, you're fucking everybody else up.
Yeah, so see, I don't want to be that one guy. It's like, hey, it's my first day, and then I got people that've been doing it for 20 plus years there on the on the course.
Let's get this out of the way before they start talking about it in chat, and then we have to address it.
Sure.
So when we first started, because Epic just came in, we already said get well soon. So Londa and Epic, now you guys can talk in chat and about what happened.
Yeah.
So that way we don't have to go back and the viewers on YouTube don't have to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, but so I did have quite a bit of fun doing that. And it's something that I don't mind going to try and do again. in the near future. Try to get my golf swing down.
I would go. Shit, that shit closes in September. It's not that. Well, I don't think it's that expensive. I don't know how much it was to get that big bucket of balls.
Well, I will say the gentleman that was serving us, I believe we used to work at the establishment that's in the same parking lot at the restaurant that used to be right there, and he knows a group of our friends from there or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
So he actually really hooked us up.
No, I understand that.
But I think it's like $50 for a bay or something like that.
And you get that big bucket of balls?
I think
like
so.
The big crate?
I don't know. I could be very wrong about that.
I don't know. Either way, I ended up paying for half of that shit, and I'm still upset about that.
I should probably give you some funds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you probably should.
You know what's crazy? is I thought about that while we were doing that.
I thought other people were going to pull their fucking cards out. Like 2 people, like, hey, well, guys, it's time to pay. Get your cards. I'm like, where's everybody else? Like, when I found out it was 2 cards there, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
So everybody that attended with us, you guys owe Jared money.
No.
I'm coming for you.
Matt doesn't.
Oh, no, not Matt. No.
Because I was pissed because I had my 2 beers that I bought. I went down to the bar, paid for them there. So that doesn't even count toward that bill. Matter of fact, the only thing that I had on that bill, no, I did get a couple shots of Jack. I had the 2 shots of Jack, and then I had a chicken wrap. Yeah. That was it. That couldn't have been more than, I'd say on the high side, $30.
Yeah, that's fair. And I bet you those
shots. My fucking card was charged $237.
Thank you, Jared, for a wonderful, wonderful afternoon driving golf balls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Sean didn't even give me nothing.
Well, technically,
and then everybody's excuse for everything that happened, I'm not going to disclose everything, but everybody's excuse is always, oh, it's his birthday. Like, bro, stop fucking giving people passes for fucking horrible behavior. That's why they end up the way they are. Sorry. I had to fucking... Accountability, folks. It's a very, very crucial thing to growing as a person and as a human being. If you can't take accountability for your own fucking fuck-ups and whatever, that's why we're about to lose all of our freedoms in this country.
Oh, my God.
Just saying. People can't take accountability for their fuck-ups.
Speaking of freedom.
Big, beautiful bullshit fucking bill.
We're still here currently. We haven't been abducted by aliens yet. Maybe that wouldn't be a bad thing unless they fucking probe us or some shit. But anyway, moving forward, I kind of wanted to get into this a little bit, but I don't know how many folks out there, I don't know if Epic or Londa or if anybody else who follows, are you guys going to be getting a Nintendo Switch 2? So Nintendo has just launched their successor to the Switch. All right.
Well, I mean, it's literally numbered.
It is. No, but the reason I wanted to bring it up, because I know you're not a big Nintendo guy, and I know my Switch is something I've only really been playing recently and really kind of getting into some of the games I've had for a while.
This is why I fuck with Londa, bro. He's like, nope, I'm a PlayStation guy.
That's okay. That's okay. I am not knocking Sony. You guys know me. I'll play anything. But so what I did was, because of the console launching, I started following this Switch Online community page, like a day or so before launch.
I said that earlier, Epic. He only has one arm at the moment. I was like, yeah, he's probably not playing any games anytime soon. But
no,
go ahead. Sorry.
So I started following a community page, and I was watching all these people start camping out, at various locations across the country, whether it's Best Buy, Target, GameStop. My sister works next door to a GameStop, and she had a huge line.
And the Best Buy.
And the Best Buy, right? Mm-hmm. So you got 2 huge lines, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, man, I'm too old to be standing in line for 8 hours for anything. But it's like, man, it's just such a really cool, joyous feeling, because if you remember when the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X launched, it was in the middle of COVID and the chip shortage. So their availability was so scarce. I mean, it took me 2 years to get one.
I still don't have one because I refuse to pay $700 for something that I'm not going to play every day.
Yeah, so and that's understandable. But this is like really the first console launch post-COVID, and units are readily available. There's still some on shelves. I am looking to pick one up, not tomorrow or anything, but somewhere in the near future, because it just looks a lot of fun. Nintendo really just seems to have fun with their games. It's upgraded. The Joy-Cons, which are the joysticks for those who don't know what it is, they're magnetic now. And the coolest feature, I thought you would think this is kind of nifty, but you can actually take the Joy-Cons and use them as a computer mouse now for certain games on the console, which I think is really neat. As somebody who's never played keyboard and mouse, I can finally get maybe my first little experience with it, with a console to a degree.
Well, when it comes to keyboard and mouse, the mouse is the easiest part. It's the keyboard.
Oh, I believe it.
Because you got to learn where you have to memorize where the keys are. So you fucking. I mean, it's not that hard because, especially moving around, it's only WASD. But like when you play like shit like GTA RP or just GTA online in general with the keyboard, like it's very complicated because then you have to set up your hotkeys for different actions. And
yeah,
everybody has their set up differently, so it's definitely the keyboard part that makes that part the hardest.
Yeah, and so I just think some of the features on it are really cool, and so I'm really looking forward to getting one. There's a lot of stuff coming out, and that kind of leads me to before I roll into the next thing. It only really has one exclusive launch title right now, which is Mario Kart World, which is getting really rave reviews. But all the Nintendo Switch 1 games.
Hold up, so they did Mario World, like where it was like where you can create your own stages. That was Mario World, right?
No, that might be Mario World. There's a lot of
I've played that before. It's not that recent. It's probably 10, 15 years old, maybe 10, 12 years old. Anyway, so I guess that's what this is. This is like you can build your own tracks.
No, I don't know if that feature's in it or not. I haven't looked too much into because I want to.
It sounds like the branding is about the same.
And so, but it's an open world now. Mm-hmm. It's got all the tracks. It's got a huge roster of characters. It looks a ton of fun. But the big thing is that Nintendo's really, and this is where the criticisms are coming in, and I think it's mostly from younger people, if I had to be upfront with you. It's like, hey, so some of these launch games are Cyberpunk, the full edition, to where it can really run on
Switch?
Yeah, on Switch too, yes.
Huh.
And there's another game that's kind of...
Oh, so they basically upgraded the hardware. They were like, so, wait, how can you play Cyberpunk on there? It's just available for everybody?
Yeah. So, yeah, Cyberpunk...
Oh, Cyberpunk is on Steam now, so I guess you could download it.
Yeah, so you can download it on Steam. It's on every console, but the fact that it's on the Switch 2...
Yeah, I know. That does change it a little bit.
The Yakuza 0 is on there as well. I've never played those games. I hear nothing but good things about them.
Yeah, I was going to play it a while ago, and then I just forgot. And sometimes, if I tell you, if I'm not in the mood, if there's an extra process for some shit, for me, I'm not going to do it. Like, for me to turn my fucking PlayStation on, kind of a pain in the ass, especially when I know I have to update it because I haven't fucking had it on for a while. And so I just fuck it.
Well, the cool thing is that if you do have your data from your Switch 1, you can just use a Wi-Fi signal to transfer it over to your new console.
I don't have a Switch 1.
No, well, I don't know. I'm just saying for if anybody out there has
what
one.
Other games can you play? Like adult games, not fucking baby games.
It's got Hitman out for it currently. It also, Cyberpunk's a very adult game. What else? I want to say there's maybe 12 or 13 launch titles total.
I don't know if it'll make me fucking buy one, but
no, I simply want to get one for the sake of, because what the cool thing is the games on the Switch 1 come with free upgrades, like for your resolution, 4K 60 frames per second.
How is that free upgrades?
It's a free upgrade because the hardware is better than the original.
That's not a free upgrade.
That's a free upgrade for the game.
You're literally paying for a new fucking
I get it. But
console.
I understand that aspect of it. But if it's going to just overall make the game better, then that's excellent. If it's going to run smoother, whatever, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I get it. But that's all that is all you're doing is buying a backwards compatible fucking.
That's okay.
It's a new console. It's not free anything.
I'm using the word free loosely. Okay, I don't like.
That's very, very loosely.
Okay, all right. It's
because if I gotta pay, how much is it? $500?
No, it's $450. The $500 is with the Mario Kart bundle.
Taxes is basically $500.
Okay,
let's be realistic here. We're not in the game. We're not in the gaming selling industry. So for what it will cost regular people,
I know that.
That's how we should be saying, instead of, oh, it's $4.99. No, we should be saying, out of the box, when you leave that fucking store, how much are you fucking paying? Close to $500, if not more, because you're getting the bundle.
Yeah, or you're getting a game or maybe an extra controller. You got to factor in the accessories.
I just said, if you're, okay, well, if you're adding, if you want a second controller, then yes, you're correct. Mm-hmm. Then you're paying close to $600.
My God.
So, yeah. Like, we got to let y'all know the real shit, like not this fucking. Oh, okay, we're part of. If we're gonna do this shit, we gotta let people know the real shit. It's only $4.99 out the door. Like bullshit.
Well, I'm not out here advocating or marketing for Nintendo, but
or anything. But I'm just saying, like, it just crossed my mind. Like, if we're gonna fucking talk about this shit, we gotta tell the raw, unfiltered truth about it.
Yeah, and that's fine. And once I get,
and I don't want you to fucking once you get your hands on it, I don't want you to fucking oh, I love Nintendo Switch just because of nostalgia purposes. No, fucking talk about it for real.
Yeah, that's cool. I can even bring it down
the
here.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, and I can bring it down here, show it off, and all that stuff. So give me maybe a couple weeks, if I'm lucky.
Maybe you could do an unboxing on the show.
I can do that. That would be real cool.
Yeah. What happened to your gaming content though?
So there's that is still coming. Mm-hmm. That is still coming. I was waiting for a patch to come out for Doom because a lot of the achievements were broken in it. They weren't unlocked.
Yeah, but you were playing Doom yesterday, so were you doing content?
No, I was going to start it, and then I had to do something for my mom, and then it was late, and I was like, nah, I was like, I'm just going to do this. And then I played Zelda a little bit, then I went to bed. Oh. So the patch actually came out Thursday. So hopefully here in the next few days, I can finally get that started because finally I am almost done with Diablo. Praise the Lord. I have 13 levels to go. Thank God. So, yeah. But since we're on games, I don't know if you saw it, Jared, but they had the Summer of Gaming Fest.
I saw it. I didn't get a chance to look at any of it.
There are a few games. There's actually quite a lot coming out. But the one game that stood out to me that I'm super excited for would actually be Resident Evil Requiem, which is Resident Evil 9. That game looks fucking badass. There is another game that has been in development since 2020. And, Jared, I'm almost tempted to have you pull up a gaming website because I can picture this whole game in my head. I think it starts with a P. But it takes place in space. You've got a young little girl as a protagonist. It looks like Dead Space meets BioShock. And it looks incredible.
Is it a new game?
It's a new game, yes. It looks like it's coming to PlayStation. It could be a Sony exclusive or a timed Sony exclusive and eventually released to Xbox. But it just looks really cool, man. And there was just so much shit that they showed. And I'm sorry I didn't kind of write a list down. I didn't want to overdo it and start talking nonsensical things for hours on end.
Yeah, at least write down what you want to talk about.
Yeah, so there's just a whole list. So they're coming out with a remaster of Final Fantasy Tactics, which I know you're not a Final Fantasy guy, and neither am I to a degree. However, it is considered by many the best one.
Bruh, this considered by many. This is what I'm talking about. Fuck what other people say. This is where your personal choices come through. This is where you're gonna shine through the rest. Fuck what everybody else says. Me and you both already agree that fucking IGN is trash.
Oh yeah, especially with that Mission Impossible review, dude.
All of them. They fucking gave Sinners a 3.
No,
it's one of the. Yes, they did.
Did they? Here, pull that up.
It was a low ass number.
God, I hope not. What I was gonna say is, no, they gave. Oh no, and then they gave the first episode of The Penguin a 5 or something.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
they whoever they have over there judging film and television are a fucking bunch of dummies. Like stick to games.
Yeah,
bro.
games are one thing, but and we know that TV, just much like games or any form of entertainment, it is, it's all taste at the end of the day. But I think when you got somebody who's just kind of, and I think when you read a review, like people bash on it too. Like you can see like some biasness in their their tone when you're reading it, and just the way they kind of structured their article. As Jared scrolls down to see what
I'm trying to find the actual number.
It'll be down at the
It's
bottom.
a bunch of fucking filler.
Oh, they gave it a 9
after the fact, because that's not what it was when it pre-screened. It was not that, because I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, so I don't know. I didn't even look at the IGN review. I try not to even look at reviews much in general.
No. When I say review, they'll have this thing where I have a picture. It'll have the picture of whatever they're reviewing, and it'll have their final score in the corner. It's just a picture, and like, as you're scrolling, you'll see it. And then I see a lot of them, and I'm like, wait, what? Why would you fucking? I saw it because I was like, why is this so low? This is not even out yet. So yeah, and then I've seen the trend a lot, and I just half of the stuff that they give reviews to a certain extent, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, they started, and I think this model is probably something that started a couple years ago, but they do this thing now with big titles, big major titles, where they do a review in progress. And I'm not a super big fan of that, personally.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, so they'll basically...
You know why? Because these games come out half-ass, and they wait till the patches come out. So,
no. The reviews in progress typically only take a couple days. But when we were growing up, when the game finally launched, like the day it came out, the review was already either in a magazine or on a website, and it was final.
They have pre-release.
Yeah, and so, I'm not a huge fan of the review in progress thing. They're like, oh, here, we're checking this out, and we'll let you know in a few days. No, man, you're supposed to let us know the day of launch if this is worth buying or not.
I'm not a fan of IGN. I think they're paid.
Yeah, well, yeah, 100%, dude, 100%. And this is also, I started following them back in like 1997.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. But they've
so.
lost their way. Like I'd venture to say, well, I won't go that hard. Some aspects of the gaming industry has lost its way. We talk about this plenty of times. How they don't finish games. Games come out, and then people cry about like how Rockstar handles stuff. But Rockstar still holds on to that. Like, we're not putting out an inferior product, and we're not gonna fucking wait and have to make you guys pay for it and then patch it later. And if they'll still make patches if something comes up, but like with there was a couple of those you could kind of farm fucking gold.
Oh, you mean like events and things of that nature?
No. On RDR2.
Oh, like a glitch? Like a duplication glitch and things of that nature?
So, like, the first few days, that was actually out for a few weeks because I didn't get mine right away.
I got the game. I did the glitch maybe a couple days.
I did get it right away.
Yeah, no, I did it really early. And I only did it the one time, but it gave me, and I didn't even do it a lot. It just gave me
that shit, though.
Yeah, no, and I was really only buying like small things like tonics for my horse and shit like that. Yeah. So I wasn't like buying like outfits and I don't know. I did
buy a couple outfits.
I farmed it for literally 30 minutes, Jared, and it gave me enough gold to get through the whole game.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't understand people that. So I've been playing a lot of Diablo.
Yeah, but a lot of those things it's like an Easter egg. I think you should keep stuff like that in.
Some developers do,
but they should probably put a cap on it. Like, all right, bling 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 bling, like fucking. But like you said, 30 minutes might be a bit much. Maybe it'll work for 15 minutes.
They used to do that in Halo Reach, believe it or not. Which a lot of my friends at the time we weren't fans of it, and even to this day, I don't know if I'm still a big fan of it. But it gave you like kind of like a daily experience cap. It's like you can keep playing, but you'll only get so much experience throughout the day.
They do that in some GTA roleplay servers.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
But like certain, like you could like you have to get a certain amount of points to get to the next level for whatever criminal espionage you're trying to do. I don't know how to explain it for people who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But then, like once your cap for the day is done, you can't go anymore. I kind of agree with that because, especially for role play, maybe not for a game, like just gameplay.
Yeah.
But for like a role play server, if you run through everything, then the server is gonna die faster because everybody has all the money, everybody has all the fucking perks.
Yeah,
and
you
all this other
gotta
shit.
ease your way into
Yeah.
it. No, I agree with that too. But it really just depends on the game that you're playing and the level of farming that
And
depending on
That's
what
what
it
I'm
is.
saying. Grinders and farmers, not literal farmers, but
No.
grinders can ruin a role play server.
And especially depending on the game, so I can agree with you in that aspect. But what I've learned about playing Diablo, Diablo has a massive community. There are a lot of gear aspects and things that you can collect. And
This guy cannot go 1 week without talking about Diablo.
because it's
Keep going.
No, but it goes into what we were talking about a little bit when it comes to like grinding and capping gold out and stuff. So there's basically a website out there where you can trade. In-game trading is a thing in Diablo where people will basically find the best piece of gear or whatever just randomly, and they'll put a price on it, right? And they'll say, hey, I want 100 million gold for this perfectly rolled helmet or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Now,
GTA is the same way.
Now this is
But
where
it's for like guns or fucking armor or something.
So now this is where the crazy part comes in. The amount of grinding that needs to be done for some of this equipment and some of the things that people are asking for. And I'll give you one example. There's something called a rune. A rune basically has a power, and you put it in your gear, and it gives you that power, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're very rare. Some of them are very rare. Some of them I only have, maybe four like total, and I've been playing for a month and a half. Some people are selling 500 at a time for certain amounts of gold, and I'm like, so how much do you grind that you have 500 of this rune when I have probably a month and a half of, time played at this point, and I have 4? That's crazy.
Well, is there a specific?
There are certain activities you can do.
I was gonna say, is there a specific thing that you can do to get those? Which means, they're fucking grinders.
Yes, but the drop rate for these things is asinine. So you farm bosses, right? You can farm the same boss over and over. Right?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, so
that's kind of like I think Elden Ring is similar to that.
Well, when you're trying to get gear, that's what you kind of have to do. But once you get all your character set, you can do the the quote unquote the in-game stuff where you can start to fight harder enemies and things of that nature. So a lot of games like that, some farming is kind of I don't want to say the meat and potatoes of it, I should say. I'll give you a good example. Borderlands. Borderlands is a game. Epic can attest to this. So where there are some really, really good weapons that only certain bosses drop, and you got to go through them a couple times. Remember the Baby Maker? Oh, man.
Nobody remembers that.
Conference call shotgun.
Now you say that kind of reminds me of Ghost of Tsushima. I did find at certain points in that game, because I would go off and try to get all, like, I don't know, that game makes you want to like get everything, because you have to look at the map all the time. So by the time I get to the next boss, I fucking have everything I need to beat this dude.
That's good, and I like that, because more games need to be like that.
Well, that's why I'm saying you need to play the game.
Another game that I've been playing,
because the new one's about to come out.
Yeah, I know. And do you know what I really want to play? I'm actually going to play very soon, I promise. I really want to play Death Stranding, because Death Stranding 2 is coming out. I'm
Go to Tsushima first.
Okay, I'm okay with that. No, but do you know what game is also like that? And I know you're going to hate it, but Zelda. Zelda is just like that.
Yeah, there's another one you talk about every week. Jin Sakai for the win. I don't know what Jin Sakai is.
Jin Sakai.
Oh, is that the guy from Ghost of Tsushima? Far too many hours farming to get garbage rolls at Epic Set.
No, dude. There's nothing like finally getting something you really wanted in the roll-on. It's garbage.
Ghost of Yoti. I don't know how to say that, bro. Like, just when you think you can say everything in Japanese just by reading it because you know the vowels.
Well, you're probably the person that thinks like that, because I don't think like that whatsoever.
I can't say that the new game. I can't say the word of the game.
Is it like Yoheti or something like that?
Yote, something like that. Yeah, it doesn't look amazing. But again, Londa, that first game was amazing too, and I need to finish it. See, that's what I was thinking about the other day. I was like, fuck, man, I want to turn my PlayStation on. I want to play I want to finish Ghost of Tsushima. But what's going to happen is I'm going to have to relearn how I even played the game, like what what my shit was.
When I started Zelda, the Breath of the Wild,
Yeah, that's why I said Jin Sakai. Yeah. And Yotei is okay. Yotei is
Yotei. Okay. But I had started it like a year ago, and I got like maybe an hour in, and then I turned it on. And I was like, oh man, I can't even remember the beginning. So I was like, let me just start over, refresh myself, get the handle, the control, just learn everything over again before I go fighting bosses and all sorts of shit. But that game is just so expansive in its open world. Like I was last night, I'm basically, how you said you were doing everything and you got to the boss and you had everything you need to just whoop his ass. So I basically am at the water temple in the game, and I'm about to fight the boss. I fought the boss once or twice. He's beaten me. I haven't beaten him yet. And I was like, you know what? I was like, let me get some better gear real quick. And, no, everything I have is fine, but I can be a little more powerful. And I was like, all right, let me go do this. So I've been hitting some shrines. But then what I really needed was some basically ores, like rubies and gems and things of that nature, so I could sell them, get money, buy better gear, all that stuff. And I was just there are so many hidden things in that game. And it's got this aspect to it, Jared, that I think you would think is really cool.
Did you say Zelda?
Yes. But you can create and build almost anything with your hand power. I can basically take objects, connect them. I can take wheels and create a wagon. I can get Zonai-powered batteries to make the wagon move on its own. But you can craft these from little objects in the game, and it's really neat. It's
Great.
really, really neat.
Great.
All right. And
I told you, man. For some reason, other than Star Trek, I don't fuck with shit with pointy ears.
But in your defense, not everyone in Star Trek has pointy ears.
Yeah, but I like the Vulcans.
The Vulcans are cool. I mean, they're
and the
pretty
Romulans. They're not as they're the cousins of the Vulcans, but they're not as pointy as their ears aren't as pointy.
You know what? That is actually something I think I can watch while I pit grind. I didn't even think about that. Because I finished watching Seinfeld.
Next Generation? Oh, if you start watching Next Generation,
no, because
you're gonna be like, wait, Jared's right. This is better than Star Wars.
You know what's crazy?
I wouldn't say that.
Man, dude, I don't know.
I like I've talked about this plenty of times. I like Star Wars for what Star Wars is, and I like Star Trek for what Star Trek is. I hate when people fucking do this Star Wars is better than Star Trek. Like, bro, they're not even the same thing.
No.
You could be dumb as fuck and enjoy Star Wars, but you cannot be that dumb and enjoy Star Trek. You got to have a little bit of fucking scientific knowledge to understand a lot of this shit. Because a lot of the terminology they use, even though it's like fake and in the future, is real shit.
Yeah.
Like when they talk about tachyon beams and fucking neutrons and fucking all this shit exists in real science.
Yeah.
So, but in Star Wars, they just make up a bunch of shit. It's mostly about political shit. That's basically what Star Wars is about. It's political shit with wizards.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's cool. No, the reason
I'm not calling Star Wars people dumb, but if the shoe fits, motherfuckers.
Some of them act
especially the way the fans act about shit. It's like, bro, y'all.
Yeah.
You don't see Star Trek fans fucking criticize. Well, sometimes it's not as bad as Star Wars.
No, Star Wars. I will put Star Wars above wrestling in terms of how fickle fans are. It goes for me in my nerd world. It goes.
That's because you're also biased.
No, not really. I just no. I love both just as equal, dude. Dude, I will wear a Darth Vader helmet to work if I could.
First of all, no, you can't.
I should be able
You're
to.
a stormtrooper. I'm Darth Vader.
I am not a stormtrooper. I can hit things.
You can't even shoot.
I couldn't hit a golf ball.
That's my point exactly.
Well, it's a tiny ass fucking ball, Jared, on a little fucking tee.
And you know who you would be on Star Trek?
Don't you dare.
Who? You have the shirt on right now. You'd be a red shirt. You know what that means in the Star Trek universe, right?
I'm not a dummy.
No, that's not what that means.
What does it mean, Jared?
In the Star Trek universe, if you're a red shirt, more than likely, well, this is the early days. It's changed throughout time.
Are you calling me gay?
No. Oh my God, bro. What is wrong with you?
I'm just joking.
No. A red shirt is basically sacrificial lambs.
So you just throw me to the wolves?
No, you're the first people to go in. You're the fucking point man.
Oh, that's what I am. I'm the point man. Hey guys, everything's clear. Poof.
Okay, well, hold on. That's bullshit. I love Star Trek when I was 6, and I guarantee you I was dumb back then. Well, bro, you're 6 years old. Come on.
I think we're all a little dumb at 6.
Yep, see, red shirts always die. He knows.
Well, this will be my new binge show while I pit grind.
I suggest, well, you know what actually would be a fun, man, this is a tough one because you're not going to be paying attention. But a fun one to watch. And you don't, the original Star Trek series is very fun to watch.
Yeah.
And you have to think about it, the times that it was made. Was that the 60s? It's a fun watch. But if you want to become a Star Trek fan, I suggest watching The Next Generation.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay attention sometimes, though.
That's okay, dude. Pit grinding is very...
I don't know what you're saying. Like, you sound like you're playing, so you're watching something else while something else.
So I basically just prop my phone up, and pits are basically quick levels of enemies that you do with 4 people, and they last like a minute and a half each. Like, I don't have to really focus on what I'm doing in that aspect.
Gotcha.
I'm basically just doing everything I can to get as much points to level up.
If you... Well, I will tell you this. And I want you to get the full experience. I will tell you this, though, about that series. The first couple seasons aren't as good as the rest of it.
That's okay. If anything, if it gets better with time, I mean...
It does get better. Oh, it gets way better.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with that. I don't like people that... when something isn't like boom in your face immediately, they completely disregard it. I don't mind things have a bit of a slow burn to them. Now, some things, they can take too long to get going, and it might kill the momentum.
You got to remember, though, the first couple seasons, I don't think, and I've heard this in interviews with the actors, because they're fucking still phenomenally famous today.
Yeah.
A lot of them have said that they didn't think they were going to be back.
I mean, it's possible.
Like, how do you get like and you can tell by the acting in that show, especially in the later seasons. I could tell even back then as a kid that these guys are like theater, like they're like theater trained, like Patrick Stewart, 100% theater trained actor. The lady who plays Beverly Crusher, same thing. She wasn't even in like the second or third season because she was like, well, I don't think this is going to last. I'm going to go back to fucking theater.
Yeah.
And then she ended up coming back because it kept doing well.
It kept doing well. I mean, but having those, I would think if you're in that, realm of entertainment or just trying to put your foot in the door and it's like, hey, this may or may not work and you have other options. I mean, I don't blame people for doing things like that, really.
Brent Spiner, also the guy who plays Data. I'm not sure his total background, but I'm pretty sure it's theater. But I'm telling you, some of those later seasons, like, it's like, yo, this dude is fucking crazy. Not crazy in, like, the sense of insanity.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Like, it's just, he's that good.
No, I mean, I was thinking, because I just finished Seinfeld literally the other night, and I was like, all right, what's the...
I don't know. The caliber of acting in fucking Star Trek is far beyond Seinfeld.
Oh, I mean, they're two completely different shows. And if I were even going to remotely compare them,
I'm not saying it because it's a fucking comedy, but Jerry Seinfeld is not an actor. And you can see it in that show.
Well, yeah, dude. It's just a bunch of laugh tracks and old slapstick comedy.
No. Did they do laugh tracks on that show?
I mean, I think so, yeah.
I think they had remember back then they had live studio audiences.
It's possible. Maybe some of the later seasons had laugh tracks in them. It's possible. I could look into that later.
Well, a lot of shows had laugh tracks, and you know where the laugh track started.
Was that Saturday Night Live?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Hell no. That was live. You can't laugh track Saturday Night Live.
I don't know. I'm just being silly. I don't know, though.
The first where it first came from, and a lot of shows use that same exact laugh track later, was I Love Lucy.
Oh,
not necessarily I Love Lucy, but the show that came after it was called maybe Lucy. Anyway, but it was basically after I Love Lucy went off the air, and then they went and started a new show.
I know.
And
what
they
show
had
you're
moved.
talking-
They had moved somewhere. I think they moved to Connecticut or some shit.
Yeah, no, I know what show.
Can't
you're
remember
talking-
the name of it though. The Lucille Ball show. I don't remember. Either way, the point is, there was a track that was a laugh track that they used for whatever reason. I can't remember the exact reason, but then it ended up being used in other shows throughout Hollywood, and a lot of people don't know that. Same thing with that scream in Star Wars,
Yeah.
where you hear the ah.
Oh yeah, no. I actually saw a TikTok on
I think
that screen.
Did I send you that one?
No, I actually think I randomly found it.
Okay,
Bro.
so
yeah,
it probably came up because of something else I sent you. But yes, yeah.
But yeah, if anybody
You can
following-
tell it if you want.
in terms of, no, I can't remember where
It
the
came.
scream,
The scream came from a movie. It was a western.
It was a Western
and the
movie.
guy was like dying or whatever, and he was like ah, and they ended up using it in Star Wars because the guy it was lost for many years, and then one of the sound guys for Star Wars, the original Star Wars, was like, well, going through all the sounds that had been basically lost, and he found that, and it fit perfectly where he needed it for whatever. I can't remember what the scene was, but then he ended up using it in the other movies.
Oh, okay.
And then throughout Star Wars history, even up to, I don't think they used it in the last prequel or last trilogy, the Rey one.
Yeah.
Because they thought they had been using it too much,
No.
so they got rid of it. But it's funny how a lot of that stuff we don't realize how it came from the early days of television,
Okay.
because that was even black and white. I
yeah,
Love Lucy was
yeah.
black and white. And I think they ended up colorizing it later.
I don't care. I prefer to watch the black and white.
Oh
version.
yeah, for sure. It's just I don't. And again, it is. Now that I say that, I've said this before too. We wouldn't have Star Trek if it wasn't for Lucille Ball. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody remembers the story, but that show almost got scripted. Gene Roddenberry had wrote it, and it went somewhere. I forgot where it went, whatever. But then Lucille Ball saw it, and she was like, "Oh, let's give this a chance." And she fucking put it through, and now we have Star Trek.
And that's why we love Lucy.
And if you see it, if you see the original shows at the end, it'll say Desilu Productions on it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. A little bit of factual information from Jared Lee himself, the mad scientist, the big boogie. All right.
Actually, it's funny because I signed up for this app to kind of help track with my bonsai and my two bonsais, and it asked you to give it a name, and I was like, "What? I'm gonna give this one Lucille," because I don't know where it came from. I was thinking Lucy, like Lucille,
the guitar.
Biggie King's,
Yeah.
BB King's guitar, but then I was like, no, because I was looking up how to spell Lucille, so then
No, so I heard my phone vibrate, and I just looked over. I was listening to you.
okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I was just like,
That's
what is-
crazy. Anyway, fucking
Could be an emergency.
Lucille. So what popped up first was Lucille, and then her, and then Ball, and she was there. I was like, you know what? Yeah, the tree is named after Lucille Ball.
All right. Well, I mean, that's cool though. And then
I forgot the second one. I forgot what I could look it up. Is the name of the second one Daniel or Miyagi? No, maybe a later one. I'll name it.
no, and Lucille is also
And it wouldn't be named. Sorry, and it wouldn't be named Miyagi. It would be named Pat Morita or Morita.
It's funny. Lucille's.
Hold on, give me
I'm
one
sorry.
second. Because Pat Morita was a stand-up comic before he became Mr. Miyagi,
It's a very, very random thing. I did not know.
and Pat Morita was very close friends with Red Fox, one of my favorite comics.
I mean, I think that should be one of everybody's favorite comics, if I had to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, some people, I don't know. Growing up, my grandparents hated him. Well, my grandmother, because he was very foul.
Oh, he's very. Oh, yeah. He says some wild shit, brother. Don't worry. I used to watch that shit with my uncle, and he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "This is." I was like, "Oh my god," I can't say half that shit.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I was gonna say Lucille is also the name of the pool club or the pool cue that Uncle Phil used.
Break out, Lucille.
Yeah, to save Will from the shady gangsters.
This is all appropriate. The second one is named Uhura. It's a little baby. It's called a jacar. I looked it up too, how to say it the other day. Jacaranda.
Jacaranda.
That's how you say it.
Fight.
So one is a juniper and one is a jacaranda. Maybe I'll put pictures up, but anyway, yeah. And Uhura, for anyone who doesn't know, is she was the communications officer on the original Star Trek Enterprise.
A little knowledge for you folks out there. A little bit of information for your fucking cranium. Oh.
Time to get some Mexican for dinner. Whoa,
that sounds what I mean.
Your version of getting Mexican for dinner is not the same as mine, brother.
So what Mexican are you getting for dinner?
Hey, I need one right now.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Oh, man, Mexicans are the best.
We love Mexicans.
Food is amazing. Beer's decent. Yeah, the culture is fucking cool, too.
Yeah. Everybody's like, nah, I'm not even going to. I've always met either like somebody that's either super laid back or they're either like super psychotic and like a gangbanger. One of the two.
Well, like straight, like actual Mexicans, not like whatever, some other Hispanic culture. When I say Mexican, I'm talking about, because I used to live in Southern California. So I knew Mexicans.
Yeah, I know a couple.
Like every Sunday, we're at the park eating carne asada and queso fresco and fucking sneaking beers and shit.
No.
Bro, oh, it was so fun. And then baseball, like, man, I miss those days.
I'm sorry that you do.
I mean, you're sorry.
Nah,
I got to live that shit was fun, bro. I'm telling you, like, all this shit that's going on, it's crazy to me. But I know exactly why. But that's just the history of this country, the DNA of this country, and it's kind of upsetting that we still have to deal with that.
You guys don't need to be upset.
The difference is that one is talking about a person and the other is talking about food. Now I'll link one to RJ and one to Jared. Well, technically I'm talking about both.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. You know what else is cool, folks? You guys. Because you guys join us every week. I mean, why would you want to spend your Saturday with loved ones? Or doing anything productive, anything meaningful, anything worth your time?
What are you saying?
When they could be sitting right here with us.
Oh, wait, what?
Right here with us.
You said that exactly backwards.
Every Saturday around 6:30 p.m.ish live here on Twitch, you can catch me.
Why are you doing this right now?
Why am I doing this? Because I'm going to eat pizza and watch wrestling.
Wow, we're not even at an hour. Okay.
I have a family. I have a family.
Okay.
Jared.
Whatever, dude.
I am a dude, and you're a dude.
Whatever, dude.
And she's a dude.
And
we're all dudes.
You
yeah.
also have I don't know, the bit of an obligation,
an obligation,
a little bit of a priority
to reach that threshold.
We're not at an hour yet.
I don't know what to tell. Well, that's why I was like 5:30. Like I was trying to get us.
I was trying to get here at 5:30, but guess what? Hey, buddy, my car's still not working properly.
I don't know that. Like,
what do you mean you didn't know that?
What do you mean it's still not working?
You're the one that's supposed to be getting it fixed.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, I knew I was forgetting something. Oh shit!
Oh my god,
dude,
bro.
I had a very busy week at work. I'm sorry. It was very busy. Very busy.
I'm sitting over here tapping with a rubber mallet every day just to get my shit to start.
Tapping with a rubber mallet. That should be the name of the podcast.
And I got fucking electrical tape on there. That's not holding. Electrical tape is not good for holding engine parts.
I don't think I agree. I agree. Here, I'll call you Monday.
Okay.
I'll call you Monday.
Sure, pal.
I am your pal. I am your friend. I am the guy.
Sure, buddy.
that you do this podcast with.
Mm-hmm.
Do this podcast with.
All right, we're gonna go. Sorry, guys. RJ is fucking being a wrestling loser.
I am not a loser.
Yes, you are.
We are winners. And then Jared is the very number one person who is expected to win Money in the Bank. All right, and cash his Money in the Bank contract in.
What the fuck are we talking about?
At any point in time to become the world comedic champion.
I got news for you. That means you're gay.
I'm glad you guys like us.
All right. See you, Londa. See you, Epic. RJ's super loserish.
I'm not loserish.
You gonna stick around for pizza and wrestling? No,
Yes.
I got fucking a life.
I have a life.
No, you don't.
I do.
See y'all next week.
Bye, guys.
Hit you
I do
so
have-
hard you won't see nothing. Ever, 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 ever.
Audio skulls all day.
The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab.
You can't have an opinion on something that you haven't even tried.
Exactly.
The merit scientist lab.